All right, let's try this again from here. Since the other one wasn't working, we'll have to wait and see if everyone logs off the other one and gets onto this one because that one wasn't working. All right, we are going over this review sheet. Thanks, Natalie, for the heads up because, like I said, I'm here talking to myself. All right, we're going to go over this review sheet. I hope your teachers gave this to you. If not, you're more than welcome to just follow along here with what I've got. I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit here and see, just so you guys can kind of see where I am at. Okay. All right. Your exam tomorrow is all on transformations. So the first few we're going to do are rotation, just translation, reflection, dilation. Those are all the things that we're going to be working on for your exam tomorrow. With your exam, it's important that you guys know that this is the bulk of your exam. So a huge percentage of this is being able to do these transformations and label them correctly. Labeling is super important, so don't forget you need to label. All right, so I'm going to start here. Rotate 180 degrees and label. Couple things that I think we should remember when we do these, that this is quadrant 1 and that your X and Y values are positive, positive. That this is quadrant 2 and your X and Y values are negative X and a positive Y. In quadrant 3 down here, your values are negative X, negative Y. Let me see if I can get this to clear up since they said it's a little blurry. Let me see how to work this one. Let me zoom back out. Still looks a little blurry. Let's try here. See if I can make that better. No, not better that way. Let's go up a little bit and let's see if there's an autofocus. I think that looks a little better, right? Better? Let me make sure I'm going the right way. There we are. Is that better? Looks better to me. Okay. So quadrant 4 we got down here. You are positive X, negative Y. All right, that's going to help you a lot when trying to figure out what your signs need to be when you do this. So what I want to show you guys is there are a lot of ways to do this. You can turn your paper, you can figure it out, but I like to kind of figure out where I am and where I need to go. So I'm in quadrant 2. I need to go 180 degrees. I'm going to end up 2 quadrants away, either 90, 180 or 90, 180. It doesn't matter which way I go. I'm still ending up in quadrant 4. This is where I need to end up. And in quadrant 4, what I think is really going to help you guys is if you know that your X values all have to be positive, your Y values all have to be negative, it's going to make it much easier for you to figure this out. So the first thing I like to do with these shapes is just literally write down the ordered pairs. This is half the battle. You have to write down the ordered pairs. So I'm going to write this down. Let's go here. All right. I'm going to write A, B, C, and D. My ordered pair for A is negative 8, positive 4. My ordered pair for B, negative 6, positive 7. For C, negative 2, positive 5. And for D, negative 5, positive 1. Right? Because I'm reflecting this 180 degrees, I can leave all of my ordered pairs in this order. All I have to do is change the signs. So everything's going to stay the same. Now, the other important thing with the labeling is that we put in the prime. So we go A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. With 180 degrees, I'm going to leave my numbers in this order, my XY coordinate the same. I'm just going to change the signs. So this one's going to be positive 8, negative 4, positive 6, negative 7, positive 2, negative 5, and positive 5, negative 1. And that, if you think about it, makes sense because this whole shape has to come down here into this quadrant where all the values are positive x, negative y. So now I'm going to go ahead and replot these and label them at positive 8, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's A prime. Positive 6, negative 7. There's B prime. C prime, positive 2, negative 5. C prime. And D prime is at 5, 1. There's D prime. And then you just have to connect the dots. So you could visually see how if I rotated this here, this part, this AB would be up here. And now I do it again, and it's down here. So 180 degrees, very easy. Figure out what quadrant you're going to be in. Leave your ordered pairs the same, and just change the signs to whatever coordinate or whatever quadrant you're going to be in. All right, let's do this one. We're going to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise and label. Again, I'm going to write down all of my ordered pairs. Writing down ordered pairs is such a good habit because then at least you can see mathematically where my numbers are and where they need to go. So rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise, I'm here in quadrant 3. I know that counterclockwise is going this way. We are going to be in this one in quadrant 4 right here. So I'm going from here to here. I know my XY coordinates have to be positive x, negative y. Let's write down the coordinates again for A, B, C, and D. So for A, I've got negative 7, negative 3. For B, I have negative 3, negative 3. For C, I have negative 7, negative 8. And for D, I have negative 5, negative 8. When you're rotating 90 degrees, the easiest thing to do, just switch your X and Y values. Switch them first. Don't worry about the signs. So I'm going to change this one to 3, 7. This one's still going to be 3, 3. 8, 7. And then 8, 5. And then go ahead and look right here. What do your signs have to be? They have to be positive x, negative y. So, okay, Paulina, when it says that you have to rotate at 90 degrees, this thing is going to go from here to here. If you guys think about this as a circle, or if you think about it as from here to here is 90. Then you have 180, 270. If you kind of look at it as a circle, it's broken up into 4s. So we go 90, 180, 270, 360. So this way we're going counterclockwise, which is that way. So you're going here. But even if you go to clockwise, you're going to do the same thing here. Switch your XY coordinates and then figure out your X's need to be positive. All your Y's have to be negative. And then let's plot our points and name it. Okay, why are all these positive? Because we're rotating it into this quadrant. Okay, we just switch them and then we're going to figure out what the signs are going to be. So in this quadrant, all my X's have to be positive, all the Y's need to be negative. So let's do it this way. We have 3, negative 7. That's A prime. 3, negative 3. B prime. 8, negative 7. C prime. And 8, negative 5. D prime. Connect the dots. I took this and I rotated it this way. All right. 2 rotations. Let's look at this one right here. You're expected to know on your exam that this notation right here means translation because it's plus and minus. Hey, you're expected to know this. This is just telling you how they want you to move this. Okay, translation is I'm literally picking this piece up and I'm moving it how they want me to move it here. For translation, I'm going to move it on the x coordinate, on the x-axis, -5, which means I'm moving this whole shape 5 this way. And then they want me to move it +8, which means I'm going to move it up this way. With this, you have a couple choices. You can just count. You can move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and do it that way. Or you can write down all your ordered pairs and just figure out what it is when you subtract 5 and add 8. Either way is fine. So if you like the ordered pair way and you want to do it that way, I can do it both ways for you, or we can just count. Let me just take the A, we'll count first. I'm going to go 5 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my A prime. All right. B prime, or to get to B prime, I'm going to move 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's B prime. C, 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. C prime. D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then up 8. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. D prime. Do the same for E. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 8. It's going to be right there. Connect the dots. You have your new shape. Okay, same shape, just new location. Same shape, new location. You went from here to here. You're always able to tell which one was the original and which was the new one based on your primes. All right. Everyone good on translation? I think so. Translation's the easiest one. Like I said, you're just moving it, picking it up and moving it. It doesn't require any rotating. You don't flip it around. The same shape just goes from here to here. All right, let's try reflection. Okay, I'll go back to rotation and let's do this. Let's look at this quadrant real quick, okay? If you want me to go over 90, 180 again. If I'm right here, okay, and I need to go 90 degrees. If I'm going 90 degrees clockwise, I'm going here. If I go 90 degrees counterclockwise, I'm going here. If I'm going 180, it's going to be across from it. Okay, so depending on which way it says, clockwise, remember, goes this way to the right. Counterclockwise goes this way to the left. If it's 90 degrees, it's one quadrant over. If it's 180, it's going to be opposite. Right? We can do a couple more. Let's get through reflection and dilation, and then I can come back and do more rotation if you want me to do more rotation. All right, so reflecting. A couple different ways you can attack this. I think the easiest way is just to count. Okay, this wants you to reflect over the x-axis. When you're reflecting over the x-axis, that's this guy right here. There's your x-axis. So they want you to reflect over that. That's our baseline. We're just going to count on the same lines how many they are away from here and put a new one in. So we've got, let's start with C right here. This one is 1, 2 away from the x-axis. It needs to go 1, 2 away from the x-axis the other way. Remember, I'm doing a mirror. So there's C prime. A prime, 1, 2 away from the x-axis this way, which means it's 2 away from the x-axis this way. A prime. And B is 3 away from the x-axis this way, meaning that you're 3 away from the axis this way. 1, 2, 3 down here. And then again, connect the dots. Okay, you have a reflection over the x-axis. If it asks you to go over the y-axis, you can do this the same way. You just are folding it this way. Here's your y-axis. You would just match up how far away your points are on this side of the y-axis. All right, I can show you guys how to do that real quick. We can do it on the same one. Let me just highlight this again. We're gonna do this one in purple. Here's the original in purple. If I were to reflect that over the y-axis, I'm gonna go however many it is away. So for this one right here, this is going to be A prime again. It's A and it's A prime. Let me get a different color. Let's try green. Okay, so this guy is right here. He's still gonna be A prime. C is 5 units away from the y-axis on this line. We're gonna make it 5 units away on this side too. There's C prime. And then B prime is 3 units away here. It's gonna be 3 units away this way too. And then we just connect the dots again. So the green one would be reflected on the y-axis. The blue one is reflected on the x-axis. Okay? And you would still label it the same. Okay? That would be B prime, C prime, A prime. All right. On the back, just so you guys know, this problem's on your test. It kind of actually looks exactly like this. So if you're here, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. This problem's kind of on your test. Looks like this. Different numbers, same thing. Okay. For this problem, you're going to get a table like this to fill in. And they're going to ask you, what is the scale factor? How did I get from here to here? And this is your only clue. So the big question is, how did I get from 4 to 2, from -4 to -2? Did I add, subtract, multiply, divide? What'd I do? And for this one, obviously these numbers get smaller. So I'm dividing both sides by 2. Okay, divide both sides by 2. Right, remember with scale factor, you're always doing multiplication and division. So dividing by 2. So what's the scale factor? It's gonna be half. You're cutting everything in half. So if I need to cut S in half, it's going to be -3, -3. If I cut R in half, half is 0, you still have 0. Half of 6, you get 3. And there's your new triangle. So on your test, fill out the chart. You have to figure out what the scale factor is. Once you figure out the scale factor is, you can do this, and then you just have to plot points and graph. That's it. So my original one up here is at, R is at 0, 6. There's R. S is at -6, -6, down here. Let me see if I move that up. There you go. And T is at 4, -4, right here. And then we just, again, connect the dots. My new triangle, my prime triangle, is at 0, 3, -3, -3, and 2, -2. It's half of that size, and this is S prime, R prime, T prime. So I got those numbers from up here. So these two were given, and I figured out that I cut these in half. So I'm dividing those in half. These ones were given as well. So I took half of this, and I got my new numbers. And I'm able to figure that out because I know I divided by 2. The other way you can see scale factor is it will, or if you know it's dilation, is if your problem were to look like this. They'll give you, in notation, it'll say x comma y goes to, let's say, 2x, 2y. Okay. If they give you something like that, all they're asking is that you multiply whatever your original numbers are by 2. In this case, I'm cutting them in half, so I'm dividing in half, or I'm dividing by 2. All right. This notation right here, this is dilation. It's multiplication. You're either making something bigger or smaller. You're dilating it, bigger or smaller. Question, not understanding where I got the numbers? I can pick another set. I think I have another example of these. If you're given, let me see if I can come up with something off the fly here. Okay, let's try another triangle. All right. So let's try this. We'll call this R, S, and T. Okay, and I'm going to give you this one at 1, 3. And we'll just make up other ones. Let's see, we got 1, 3, and -4, 2. And let's go. That's going to put me 1, 3. It's going to put me there, there. Let's go 1, -2. Okay. So you're given these numbers, whatever they are. All right. This is your original. This is going to be my prime. Okay. If I give you this one and I say your prime is 2, 6. Okay. Your prime is 2, 6. I need to know how I went from this to this. I'm obviously making it bigger. How did I get from 1 to 2 by multiplying, and from 3 to 6 by multiplying? And the answer is I multiplied both by 2. I multiplied 2 times 1 and I got 2. I multiplied 2 times 3 and I got 6. My scale factor for this is 2, meaning I need to multiply everything by 2 to get these other numbers. So on this one, I would get -8, 4. I would get 2, -4. This one I'm increasing. Obviously, if I'm cutting it in half, this one I'm decreasing. So you're looking for a pattern. And for this one, I know I cut them in half. For this one, I know I multiplied by 2. You just have to know how you're getting from this point to this point. How am I going to get from 3? What did I have to do to 3 to get to 6? Well, I'm not adding because it's dilation and you have to multiply. I had to multiply it by 2 to get there. That's the only way I could have gotten there. Does that make more sense? I hope. If not, I will come back to it again. No worries. Okay. That's really all you're doing. I could have given you any one of these. How did I get from this one to this one, this one to this one? It's all by a scale of 2. Okay, I'll come back. I can do another one of those. No worries. Once we're done with this review sheet, then you guys can let me know which ones you want me to revisit again, because I have more problems. All right, let's do one of these. All right, it's kind of light, but this is a big problem on your exam. Let's see if I can make it better. Okay, this is a big problem on your exam. You're going to be asked to graph these lines, to find the slope, to write an equation of the line. These numbers are 3, 2, 5, 10, and that's y equals 4x plus 3. You're going to be asked, are the lines parallel, perpendicular, neither, and how do you know? First things first, okay? I'm going to take these numbers, I'm going to put them on another piece of paper, and then I'll bring this back to graph. So I have a slope. I have 3, 2, and 5, 10. and I have y equals 4x plus 3. That's what I was given. I need to find the slope of this first. Okay? My slope equation is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm just going to plug in x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, so I've got 10 minus 2 all over 5 minus 3, which equals 8 over 2, which equals 4. All right. Once I find this, I can already answer one of these questions without graphing the lines. I don't even need to graph the lines to tell if these are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. All right. If they're parallel, they're going to have, these lines will have the same slope. If they're perpendicular, they're going to have the opposite slope and the reciprocal. Okay? Opposite meaning it'll switch to positive, negative. Reciprocal is flipping it around. And if it's neither one of if it doesn't have this or this, then it's a neither. Okay? I just found my slope for these 2 points. My slope is 4. The equation that I'm comparing it to has 4 also. So I know for a fact that these lines are going to be parallel. Without even looking at anything else, these will be parallel lines. Okay? You're confused on the slope or you're confused on parallel perpendicular. Slope is just a formula. You just plug in. Okay? Slope is just a formula. All right? The rule on parallel lines is that if they have the same slope, they'll be parallel. Okay? I'll show you guys this on a graph. We're going to graph these in a second. All right. Let's deal with this. Okay? I need this. It asked me to find the slope. I did. 2 points, find the slope. Slope, that's m. I'm assuming you guys have heard this in your class. Okay? That means slope. The formula for slope is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. I just labeled these in this order. You could have made these your x2s or this your x1s. It doesn't matter. Just be consistent. And then I just plugged these into the formula. And that's how I got that. All right, we'll come back to this. I have slope. I have a point. It wants me to write the equation of a line. Okay, when I write my equation of the line, it needs to be in y equals mx plus b form. There's your slope. That's your y-intercept. Okay, I need to find my y-intercept. To do this, I'm going to use one of those points. I'm going to use one of these points and plug in. Okay, I'm going to use one of these points and plug in. All right, I'm going to show you guys another way you can do this too, but this is how you're going to do it mathematically. Okay, I'm going to use this equation, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to use the point 3, 2. That was one of the points given to me up here. Here's x, here's y. I'm going to get 2 is equal to, my slope was 4. 4 times 3 plus b. 2 is equal to 12 plus b. Subtract 12 to both sides. B is equal to negative 10. I found my y-intercept now. Okay? With that, my new line is y equals 4x minus 10. All right, let's say the two options are 7 and 3 for slope. Is that perpendicular? Okay, 7 and no. A perpendicular slope, okay, would look like if I would need 2 lines. So I would need y equals, you guys can't see that. Let me move it up. Okay. Off topic. I'll go back to that problem. But a perpendicular slope, let's say you had y equals 1/2 x plus 2. y equals negative 2x plus 1. This part doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your slope. You see that one's positive, one's negative, and it's flipped. If I flip 1/2, I get 2. If I flip 2, I get 1/2. Okay, that's a perpendicular slope. Opposite signs, and then they flip. All right, back to where we were. Okay, here was the original question. Find the slope, write the equation of the line, graph these lines. Are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? All right, I just did all that work to find my slope. My slope was equal to 4. My equation of the line was right here at 4x, y equals 4x minus 10. So on this graph, I have this line, and my new equation of the line is 4x minus 10. I'm going to graph both of those. So graphing this one, starting at 3, my slope is 4 over 1. It's positive. I'm going up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And then you will take a straight edge, which I will try and improvise with right now because I didn't bring one with me. Let's use this. This guy goes right here, straight edge. There's my first line. The other one, y equals 4x minus 10. I'm at 10. I'm going up 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. There's my other one, okay? I know that these lines are parallel. See that? Switch out this. These lines are parallel because they have the same slope. Parallel because they have the same slope. All right. If you were given these 2 points, 3, 2, and 5, 10, okay? 3, 2, 5, 10. You could plot these points and draw your line together, okay? You could absolutely do that. Where you might get a little bit confused is actually counting the slope. You could count the slope. There are other ways to do this. But you are going to have to write the equation of a line. So I figure might as well teach you the longest way, and then you can go from there. Let me show you guys. If you were to just plot these points and graph them, not a problem. You could do that too. Okay? You could plot 3, 2, 5, 10, connect the dots, count your slope, count the rise over the run, and do it that way too. All right? That's completely okay if the math is killing you. You would lose the point for this, for the equation of the line, but you would get everything else. So take your pick, figure out where your strengths are. All right, let's do another one. Okay, I'm gonna put it up here. We're gonna do, let's try one that has this. Your points are -3, 3, and 3, -5. Okay, and our original equation is y equals 3/4 x plus 6. All right, you got to find the slope first. Okay, on this, I'm going to show you guys how we can do it the other way. If you wanted to put in and plot these points and go -3, 3, 3, -5, and draw your line that way, you could. Now that you have these, you could just count the slope. Okay? Let me draw the line here real quick. You could easily just count rise over run. I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I went up 8 and I'm going to the left, so it's negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? It's -8 over 6, which reduces to -4/3. Okay? If this way is easier for you for right now, that's completely okay. All right, just know that at some point you're gonna have to write the equation of the line. But just to get to here right now, fine. If we want to graph our other line, y equals 3/4 x plus 6, I'm starting at 6, and I go up 3 over 4. Up 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my other line. Okay, are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? The only way you can tell, because you can't assume just because it looks pretty and it looks like it might be a right angle, the only surefire way you can tell is by your slopes. And our slopes, let me just rewrite this here for you. Our slope in this line right here is 3 over 4. Our slope for this line was -4 over 3. They're the opposite. So you have one negative, one positive. They're flipped. So these lines are perpendicular. Those lines are good to go. They're perpendicular. Okay. Show you guys ones that are neither. Down here, I just gave you 2 lines to graph. So this guy right here, starting at -2, and here's my slope of 2, going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Remember, you're always starting with your y-intercept. Always start your lines with your y-intercepts. Let's see. Okay, there's the first line. Second line, starting at 3, I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. I will solve for b again, not a problem. Okay. These guys just intersect. They're not parallel. They're not perpendicular. Just 2 lines hanging out, having a good time. All right, solving for b again. Let me show you with this problem. It was the problem on the review sheet. These are the points I just plotted just for the heck of it, but I'll show you how to solve for b so you can find that also. First thing first, you have to find the slope. Wait, why isn't it perpendicular? It's not perpendicular because, yes, they're flipped, but they're not opposite. They're both positive. This is 2x and this is 1/2. In order to be perpendicular, you need to have the opposite. So positive and a negative, and it needs to be the reciprocal. Okay, and this one doesn't have that. They're both positive. So it would be neither. That's correct. This one right here would be neither. Okay? All right, solving for b in y equals mx plus b. Find your slope first. All right, slope is equal to y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. I have my x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, plug in your points. I've got -5 minus a -3. Positive 3, minus 3. Y2 minus y1, so minus a positive 3, all over x2, 3 minus a -3. Okay, I just took these, plugged them in. I got -5 minus 3, which equals -8, all over 3. Remember that guy right there is going to turn into a positive, over 6. I'm going to reduce that to -4 over 3. Okay. In this situation, it's probably easier to reduce because sometimes you don't know how big of a graph you're going to get. When you're solving for b, it's going to be easier to plug it in and use a smaller number. Okay, going back, I found my slope. It's right there. I have an x and a y I can use. It doesn't matter which point you use. I can pick this one or this one. Either one's okay. It's going to come out the same. But now I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to solve for b. So I'll use the -3, 3. Okay, y is 3 equals slope right here, that's m, negative 4 over 3 times negative 3 plus b. I have 3 equals, I have negative 4 times negative 3, which is positive 12 over 3 plus b. 12 over 3 I can reduce to 4 plus b. Subtract 4 to both sides. B is equal to negative 1. My equation of the line for this one would be y equals negative 4 over 3x minus 1. If I was solving for b that way, to write the equation of the line. This is my equation of that line. Good? For solving for b? Okay. That's all the new stuff that's on this test. This stuff is review and it's on your test. So I can go over, I'll go over these two down here. These were the ones from your last exam. Same deal, okay? But these are gonna be in multiple choice. So I've got this guy and this guy right here. Here are my parallel lines cut by a transversal. These are alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles are equal to each other. So this equals that. 4x minus 7 equals 153. And then solve your equation. 4x equals 160. Divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 40. Okay. These guys right here, these guys are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are equal to each other. So again, set it up. 3w minus 8 equals 2w plus 32. Get all your variables on one side. I know some of you guys can skip some of these steps and do them in your head. I'm not a big fan of doing mental math for this. I feel like you make more mistakes. There's plenty of paper. Spend your time. Use a paper. Okay? So these guys were here. Looking at this one right here, these guys right here are vertical angles. So vertical angles are congruent. That makes that one 112. I could say that 1 and 3 are corresponding. I could say that this guy 112 up here and this 3 are alternate exterior angles. So this guy right here would be 112 as well. In finding 2, I have a couple options. These guys are same side interior, so I know that they have to equal 180. I know that these guys right here are a linear pair. I know that they have to equal 180. So either way, I'm good. I know they need to equal 180. 180 minus 112 is going to give me 68. So angle 2 is going to be 68. Okay, so there are multiple ways to attack these type of problems. All right. 43 minutes of math so far. If you want me to do something else, let me know. If you want me to do another rotation or a dilation, throw it up there now and I can get you guys some more practice problems. Otherwise, that's the stuff that's going to be on your test. I will write it all down for you here so that you guys know what you're going to be studying. Exam 3. Exam 3 is going to look like this. You're going to have to do all the transformations. Okay, you have to do all the transformations. That's translations, dilations, rotation, and reflection. You're going to have to do those. Oh, I can't see that. Sorry. And you're going to have to label. Okay? So you're going to have to do all of those and label. Labeling is important. Don't forget to label. All right. That's the bulk of your test. Whoa. Then you're going to have to write the equation of the line. You're going to have to graph, find the slope, and then tell me if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay. And again, your reasons for parallel, perpendicular, or neither, if it's parallel, it's going to have the same slope. If two lines are parallel, they have the same slope. Okay? If two lines are perpendicular, they're going to have opposite, so positive or negative, and they're going to have the reciprocal. Okay? So again, an example of a perpendicular slope would be 1/3 and -3. Those are perpendicular slopes. Wrong way, this way. 1/3 and -3 would be perpendicular slopes. Okay, neither we find. For review on this test, there are review questions. Your review questions, you're going to have the angle relation problems. I think there are 2 of those. There are there's a solving angle measures. This is review. I think there's 1 of those. These are multiple choice ones. There's the protractor problem, because people are still missing that. So those are your 4 big review questions. This part up here, the transformation one, this is the bulk of it. So you have 4 of these where you're going to have to do 1 of each. You're going to have a big dilation one like we did here, like this problem right here. Okay, so like this problem right here with the chart and this will be on your test, something like that. You're going to have matching and labeling. You will not need to use a compass. There's no construction. So there's no compass, no construction. This is pretty much the bulk of it right here. It's these guys right here. Make sure when you label, you always label with the prime. Okay, that you always label like R prime, T prime, S prime. Really important. You're going to get points for labeling. You're going to get points for doing it correctly. Without the right label, you're going to get points taken off. Okay. Is there anything else you guys want me to do before we call it a night? So you guys can go to bed or study or do more problems. Going once, going twice. All right. So exam 3 tomorrow. Good luck. If you guys need any help, Mr. Finch will be at school tomorrow. Finding slope. Oh, right at the last minute. All right. Finding slope. Okay, my friend. Finding slope. You're just straight up using the formula. Finding slope from 2 points. There's your, not a problem. Here to help out. Committed an hour. I'm here for you for the hour, my friend. Whatever points they give you, okay? It doesn't matter what 2 points they give you. So I'm just going to pick 2 points. We're going to go with 3, 1, and -6, 2. Okay? Just whatever points. You just need to identify how you want these to be. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. That's the easiest way to make it happen. And then just plug them in. This is the formula. Plug them in. So I'm going to have 2 minus 1 all over -6 minus 3. My slope is going to be 1 over -9. That's it. Okay. If you're trying to find slope without using the formula, like we did in This one here, I can regraph this one for you. Let me show you on this one to graph. So this is 2, -4, and 1, 0. Okay? 2, -4, 1, 0. Here's 1, 0. Here's 2, -4. Here's your line. You could literally just count your slope this way if you needed to. Okay, so it's down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. So -4 over 1, or just -4. If you're given 2 points and that weighs easier for you, go for it on your test. Pick whatever weighs easier for you. The problem with this, if you don't know where your y-intercept is, you're not going to be able to write your equation of the line. Okay? That's the only downfall from doing it this way. But like I said, it's worth 1 point. So if you have to pick and choose, do the max that you can do. All right. Tutoring tomorrow morning. Mr. Finch is always at school at 7:30. He's in room 107. He can help you guys out. He knows all this stuff as well. I'll probably be at school early as well, so you can swing by my class. I teach a first period. We'll be testing. And then if you guys want to come around at lunch, usually Mr. Kempel's around, or I think Finch is around at lunch too, Mr. David. You guys can, hit one of us up before your exam if you're lucky enough to have it third period. Good luck, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.